All right, what up, YouTube? I said, I'm gonna just try to be real quick in this, but I was thinking, I was sitting back and I was wondering, I was just thinking about like a lot of the hate that us who know that we Israelites receive, not just from other people, but from our own people, and I was wondering about why that is, and I was kind of surprised about it because, when I think about it, a lot of our people show love to, Martin Luther King and the Black Panthers and all that. And I feel like we a combination of that for real. As far as like with Martin Luther King, with our faith in the Bible, this is really all most of us care about. And then when they come to the Black Panthers, as far as building up our communities and stuff like that, like I said, I feel like we a combination of both of that. So I'm surprised by a lot of the hate that we get, especially from our own people. But either way, though, as I was thinking about it more, I was thinking about, probably the reason why a lot of y'all show us the hate is because we do talk about racism and stuff a lot, that we receive in America and all that. And so I guess a lot of y'all feel like that racism really don't exist no more, or maybe because we do it to ourselves, we killing each other and stealing from each other and all that, that the racism that we get from America ain't that bad. So, I was just thinking about it more, and for those of us who believe in the Bible, I'm gonna go to the Bible real quick and we're gonna see about this. And like I said, I'm gonna be real quick. I don't want to be in this all day today. I'm gonna start at Exodus 2. I'm gonna go to the 13th verse. And it says, and he went out, and when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strode together, and he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? All right, so Moses went out the day after he killed the Egyptian. As a matter of fact, I'm just read the next verse. And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. So Moses went out the day after he killed the Egyptian. And he seen two other Hebrews fighting. He asked them why they doing this. And they asked him, who made you a king or the ruler with us and all that. But either way, though, for those y'all who saying that the racism don't exist or it ain't that bad because we doing it to each other, look, we did it to each other back in the days of Moses. And I'm gonna go back to chapter 1 real quick because just because we did it to ourselves and we doing it to ourselves now, don't mean that it don't exist. So we go to chapter 1 in Exodus and say, I'm gonna go to
what's going on?
How you doing? If we go to chapter 1, it's I'm gonna go to the 8th verse, chapter 1, Exodus. It say, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and they come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. Verse 12, it say, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve a rigor. So for those of y'all saying out there, it don't exist or it ain't that bad because we doing it to ourselves, it definitely exists. And it can exist even though we doing it to ourselves. Because we see right here in chapter 2, when Moses came out and found the two Hebrews fighting together, probably would have been to the death if Moses didn't break it up. Even though we was doing it to ourselves, the racism from the Egyptians was with us so much more that he said, come and let us deal wisely with them, unless they multiply and all that. And then in the 11th verse, it said, therefore they set taskmasters over us to afflict us with burdens and all that. And it said, the more we grew, the more they made us to serve with rigor. So if you really want to think about it, the reason why we do it to ourselves, or the reason why we did it to ourselves back in the day, or why we do it now, is because of the fact that we were so, put it not I ain't gonna say put against each other, but yeah, kind of put against each other. If you put it like that, how he said, come let us deal wisely with them. And just look at how they, how it says like he put taskmasters over us and all that to afflict us with our work and to make us serve with rigor. Obviously, if you worn out, tired, and all that, you ain't got no time for your family, and you basically being manipulated against by a system that you in. You obviously gonna be stressed out, mad, and all that. And of course, if you being oppressed against, you want to take that oppression out on somebody else. And of course, with the people who you probably gonna do it to are the ones you live amongst, which mainly gonna be your own people, which is common sense. So for those of y'all who saying it don't exist or it can't happen because we be killing and robbing and stealing from each other, no, that's mainly a point of why it does exist even more so because being in the system that that could do away with it, the fact that we keep doing it to ourselves and it keep happening to us the way it is, it shows that they could do something about it, but they won't because as you go back and see, he said, "Come, let us deal wisely with them." That's exactly how they want it to be. So for those out who thinking that it don't exist, well, it ain't that bad because, like I keep saying, we doing this ourselves. No, that's just another reason, like I keep saying, that it does exist all the more because that would be exactly how they want it. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to Nehemiah real quick because it just ain't the killing. Like I said, some of y'all said we killing and stealing from each other and all that. If we go back to Nehemiah, I'm gonna go to the 5th chapter and I'm gonna read a little bit real quick. And I'm gonna start at verse 1. And it says, "And there was a great crowd of people and of their wives against their brethren, the Jews. For there were they said, We our sons and our daughters are many. Therefore we take up corn for them that we may eat and live. Some also there were, they said, We have mortgaged our lands, vineyards, and houses that we might buy corn because of the dearth. There were also that said, We have borrowed money for the king's tribute, and that upon our lands and vineyards. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, our children as their children. And lo, we bring into bondage our sons and our daughters to be servants, and some of our daughters are brought into bondage already. Neither is it in our power to redeem them, for other men have our lands and our vineyards." In verse 6, it says, "And I was very angry when I heard their words, when I heard their cry in these words. Then I consulted with myself, and I rebuked the nobles and the rulers, and said unto them, Ye exact usury every one of his brother. And I set a great assembly against them." So for those y'all who say, it's us, killing or stealing and robbing, in this case in the book of Nehemiah from each other, that the racism ain't that bad or it don't exist. No, even though we was doing that to each other back then, we still know that the racism from Sanballat and Geshem, or what was the other dude name? Whoever the other dude name, yeah, Tobiah. Even though we was doing that to each other, as soon as we put a mind to work, like it said, I think in Nehemiah 2 or 4, as soon as we put a mind to work and the end all that, they came together in the first, they didn't even think we could do it. So they were so racist that they mocked us and thinking we couldn't do it. And then they seen we came together and started to do it. Then they started getting worried and saying, hold on, like, what are they doing? Why they building their community back up? Like, why they come together? This ain't what we want. They should be out here killing, stealing, and robbing from each other. So for those out who thinking, we just talking about stuff that may not exist or might not be that bad no more. No, even though we doing it to each other now and did it to each other back then, that racism for the others definitely did still exist. And like I keep saying, it was probably the fact of what we was going through as to the fact that we did it to each other. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause that's how others wanted us to be. As soon as we put a mind to stop all that, Sam Ballard and all them came together and said, hold on, what are they doing? Should they be killing and stealing the rob from each other? Why they trying to build their communities now? Now let and the last, like I said, I don't want to be all day with this, so I'm just make it quick. The last one I'm gonna go to is I'm gonna go to Esther again, and I'm gonna start in the 3rd chapter, and I'm gonna read that 8th verse. And Haman said unto the king of Ahasuerus, There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. So now again, a lot of y'all say like, we not being oppressed nowadays. We not in slavery and all that. And back in the days in that Median Persian kingdom, we weren't being oppressed so much either, in the sense that we was dispersed amongst all the people. We kept our own laws and we didn't even follow the laws of the king of that land. You can say in that kingdom, on that nation, that system or whatever, we weren't being oppressed either. But even still, how we was able to be dispersed among the people doing our own thing, having our own laws, not even following the laws of the kingdom of that country. The racism existed that there was still people sent back, namely Haman and people with him that was sent back plotting on us so much so that he was plotting on getting rid of all of us. Like even going back to Egypt, how they plotted on getting rid of all our firstborn. You see what I'm saying? So for those out who thinking like, we free and we got, the will to do it ourselves and all that and all that. that don't mean that it ain't happening. Because as we can see here, even though we were free to do whatever we wanted, her mom was still sitting back plotting to get rid of all of us. Even going back talking about Margaret Sanger, that's what she was talking about. See what I'm saying? A lady who put in a whole motion on how to come to us, talking about using the preachers against us and the teachers, doctors, and all the leaders in our community come to us, to the ones who might be getting out of line. And she put it talking about how to put us back in line. You get what I'm saying? So for those of y'all who thinking it don't, who get mad at us or what we talking about, because we talk about, like I said, we do talk about this a lot. And y'all thinking, it don't exist, so it ain't that bad or whatever. Now, as we can see in these few examples right here, the Bible do exist, and it is. As a matter of fact, when it gets to the point where they send back observing of plotting, and we don't know what they're thinking, that's as bad as it is. As a matter of fact, I was looking at this documentary the other day, and I think it was Jackie Robinson, right, Rachel Robinson, and she was talking about she was like in the South, she knew it was bad and all that, but she was like when she came up here though, it was even worse because she didn't know who was who. Like she was like these Caucasians are smiling on her face and all that, and turn around they'd be plotting on her, and she just didn't know. So for those y'all who think it ain't bad, it's the worst type when they sent back just watching us and plotting. At least if they shouting out their words and what they thinking, we at least know how to go against that. But when they just send back, we know it exists, but we don't know what they thinking and all that. That's the worst type. You see what I'm saying? Even Martin Luther King, when he came to Chicago, up again, somebody came from the South to the North. He was like, yeah, it's bad in the South, but he was like, I ain't never been nowhere as evil as Chicago. He was like, he just ain't got nothing but wicked vibes when he came up here. So for those of y'all who thinking that because it ain't out in your face and it ain't open and that we doing it to ourselves, that it don't really matter what they doing. No, it definitely matters. And in fact, there might be a case you can make of why it's even worse than it being all out and open in our faces. And as a matter of fact, the last one I'm gonna give the example, I gave this example before in the video I put out a long time ago, but even Thurgood Marshall, he was saying, in the South, he could get more action out of our people and all that because we knew that we were being oppressed out there. But he was like, you come up here to like cities like New York, Detroit, Chicago, and all that. He said they give Negroes little 5-cent jobs here and there. And we thought we was doing something, but really we didn't see like even though we had all this money, we weren't really owning stuff up here. But even in the South, when they had less money, we owned a lot more down there than we did up here. You see what I'm saying? And it just, just to put it all together. But like I said, I ain't trying to be with this all day, today, because I know how y'all feel about it anyway. But it's just, for those y'all who mad that we keep talking about the things we talk about and y'all don't want to, deal with us because y'all feel like we probably keeping up stuff or whatever, or however y'all might view it. This basically just goes to show that just because we ain't seeing it, my bad, my video just paused up. I don't know if it stopped or what, but like I said, I ain't want to be on holidays all day anyway. So that's gonna end this one, until I come back with the next lesson. But I ain't like I said, I ain't gonna be home with this one all day. This just a little quick one, something I was thinking about. So until then, I'm out.